Everyone, welcome to Martech QA. I'm Siddharth and today we are going to discuss about fundamentals of software testing part 2. These are also very important points, and in the previous video that we have discussed were points about types of testing and levels of testing, unit testing, black box testing, and some more points. So in this video we are going to discuss about test cases, scenarios. So you need to watch this video till end so that you do not miss any point. You just need to learn each and every point and need to prepare it for the interview. One of the very important topic, that is test case, test scenario. So it is a very necessary point that every tester should know. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe. So let's get started without wasting any time. So here is the first question between us, that is, what is test case? Coming on to details of it. It is an action performed to check whether the particular software functionality is working according to the requirement. Test cases consist of test data, test procedure, actual result, expected result, status, comment. So status is like the test case, whether it has passed or failed if you have executed it. Comment is suppose if there is a clarification that is required by the developer. Suppose you have mentioned a bug but he is not able to understand it. So if you are going to mention about it in the comment section, so he'll be more clear on that bug. It is also considered as starting point of test execution, where inputs are applied and outcomes are analyzed. Test case designing techniques are boundary value analysis, equivalence partition, state transition diagram, and decision table testing. So here is the format of the test case that usually organizations or people used to follow when they are preparing test cases. There comes ID. ID is the serial number or any type of ID you can keep it, whether these are certain points that are there, like test case 1, test case 2. Then the test procedure, it is point by point steps that are there in testing, like you are testing certain functionality, so you will be going from one point to another point. Then what is the objective? Description of test. Test data is the input that is given by the user or the tester. It expected result, it is the requirement of the software or functionality. Actual result, the output that you are getting when you are testing. Status, if the actual or the expected result matches, then it will be pass. If it does not match, it will be fail or not pass. Then comment, as I have already mentioned, is some explanation about the bug, whether if it is a complex bug, so you need a little description so that it is very much clear about how complex is that bug is and how critical is that. Coming on to the test scenario, any functionality that can be tested is test scenario. Test scenario can also be said as test condition or possibility. It ensures complete test coverage. Test scenario is critical for end-to-end functionality of application. So here are the differences that are there in test case and test scenario. Definite test procedure, test data, and test result are there in test cases. In test scenario, there is a description of end-to-end testing in a high-level document. Test cases focuses on both what to test and how to test. Test scenario focuses more on what to test rather than how to test. Test case is a low-level action, whether the things are there that is more deeper, and in test scenario the things are on high level, that is on the critical part things are checked. Test cases are mostly derived from the test scenario. Multiple test cases can be derived from one test scenario. Business requirement specification and software requirement specification are main document from which test scenarios are defined. Coming on to what is a test plan. So test plan is also a type of document that is for how you will be testing the functionality or the software application. Document that describes scope and approach schedule of intended test activities. Better will be the test plan, more will be the quality of software. Test plan is basically designed by test lead or QA manager. So if you are a fresher or you are 2 or 3 years experience, you don't need to worry about the test plan, but you should be having a little bit knowledge about what is test plan. Test plan should be updated as per the requirement update. Test plan should consist details of test environment, test design technique, required usage of entry and exit criteria. So these entry and exit criteria will be discussing in the later videos, or that is there in the channel, so you can look into it and you can explore yourself according to your need. Risk and mitigation analysis is there. Tools required to perform testing are there in test plans. So all the details that are required, what will be tested, what will be the environment, or what will be like uh, tools that will be required by testing execution is there in test plan. Coming on to test suite. It is suite or suite, that depends, that does not matter, but what matters is what are they really, what is the explanation. So test suite is a collection container, you can say it as a container or collection of test cases particular module of functionality. Test suite can also be considered as subset of test plan. Test suite describes the goal of the test case. Test suite consists of applications version, environment, and test parameters. These are basically of two types, that is abstract test suite and executable test suite. Coming on to the next topic, that is test script. Test script is a set of instruction used in automation testing. So basically automation testing has also very important form of testing, as nowadays there is rapid pace of development has gone through, and you need to save time and money, so automation testing is very necessary to implement in your project or the product that you are delivering or developing. So automation testing is required. Coming on to the next point, that is test scripts are written by using test cases. Scripts can be prepared using scripting language and their frameworks. Tools are also available where coding knowledge are not required. So as there are some tools that are available in the market, that is Catalan Studio. When you will search on Google, you will be getting knowledge, and like these are the tools where you don't need any particular knowledge of any programming language. You can just go and like play and record and playback thing is there. Selenium is also there, that has feature of record and playback. It has having an extension in Chrome or some other browser. So it depends what is your skill, and if you are doing it programmatically, it will be good. Like if you are applying your programming skills and you are not doing it with record and playback type of automation, it will be very good. Like you'll be, it is easy to shift from coding to non-coding rather than from non-coding to coding. So it is good to have a coding knowledge and prepare test script. Coming on to the next point, test scripts are usually prepared in automation testing, for example Selenium, Appium, HPQTB, and robotic framework. So Selenium, as I've already mentioned, it is a very like usual topic, and usually many of the clients are using it. It is open source. It is mainly used for web web browser testing or web application testing. IPM is used for mobile application testing, HTTP, HPQTP. Nowadays, it is also known as UFT, Unified Functional Test. Something, some you can Google it on what are it. Then, what is robotic framework? So it is not necessary that right now it is not necessary what is the full form of UFT. So you'll be able to find it. It is very easy. But nowadays it is a very early version of testing tool. So nowadays Selenium, Appium, and robotic frameworks are used, which are open source rather than using the paid version of any of the tool that is available. So coming on to test data, it is simply the input given to the software application to check whether the outcome is as per expected outcome or not. Input can be given in any type of data: web element action, desktop field element, or mobile inputs. So it can be a text field. So a text field needs a string or any type of variable. But in certain elements that are there, like a checkbox, so it is like true, false are there in it. So these are considered as per action what is required. Then there is radio button. Then so it depends what are the test data that are required, and then it will be written in the test case. Coming on to the next point, that is test data is more accurate used for testing. More accurate will be the quality of software. So if you are very much close to the test data and more important test data are used, so more will be the quality of software. Test data input should be given by boundary value analysis, equivalence partition, state transition diagram, decision table testing for maximum test coverage on time. Then coming on to test procedure. Test procedure is nothing but steps to reproduce functionality to be tested as per expected requirement. Test procedure should be precise and accurate so that it is understandable to team members, scrum master, product owner, and stakeholder of the project. So these are nothing but steps that are there in like testing of functionality or any UI, usability, or regression testing. So these are just simply the steps. Like you are opening a web page, you are going to a module, then you are clicking that button. The next point is steps should be written in points so that it is easy to reach particular module or check a particular functionality. Points should not be complex or highly technical. So there are many clients which are not technical enough to understand the topic. So it is very important that uh, it should be very simple so that non-technical client should also understand the things. Here is the format that test procedure is written in. Go to YouTube link. So here it is the YouTube video. So if you have to see a YouTube video, you have to go to a YouTube link, then you will search test. Test is a dummy data that I have just written over here. Checklist of videos shown, and then click on any of the videos. So this is the process to watch the video when you are going to watch the video on YouTube. What is test harness? It consists of stub, driver, and some other tools. Test harness are executed using test library and test reports are generated. Test harness is mostly used in automation testing. Increases the pace of debugging and productivity. Test results are recorded, which helps developer or SDET. Coming on to next point, that is stub and driver. So as I have discussed in the previous slide, that it is very important part if you are doing automation testing. So test harness is part of it. Stub and Driver are dummy modules created for testing. Drivers are used in bottom-up approach of integration testing, also referred as calling program. Stubs are used in top-down approach of integration testing, also referred as called programs. Purpose of the stubs are to follow upper level of the code. Thank you so much guys. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, hit the like button or subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.